Normally, when we go through trials, and we go through pains, and we go through persecutions and difficulties or whatever struggles in our life, we tend to go inward, don't we? We tend to move, like protection mode, self-preservation mode. We do. And it's real, and I know I do sometimes, because that's what we do. We go into protection mode. But here, not only is their faith increased, but they're reaching out in love, what? Towards who? Towards one another. Rather than going in and preserving ourselves, they're reaching out and they're loving each other. Even in the midst of the trials and the persecutions. Even in the midst of the difficulties. Rather than going in and putting on that shell, like an armadillo going in his own shell, or a turtle going in his own shell to preserve himself. He's reaching out, they're reaching out, and they're doing what? They're loving on each other in the midst of that. And how many of us need that? And I've talked about this in the last letter, in 1 Thessalonians, is that we can't stand alone. There's no lone rangers in the body of Christ. There isn't. That's why we need each other to help us stand. We do. Each one of us needs the love of one another. We do. That's what helps us stand. That's what makes great teams great. Because they depend and they support one another. And I'm just going to use this as an example. This is just a sports example, but it's a small example. And remember, they're going through trials. What happened with the Eagles last year when they were facing trials from without? They had injuries, and they had people in the league and people outside the league were saying, they're not going to be any good. They're not going to do anything. And and they're facing all this, and they're facing a lot of stuff going on. They're facing a lot of pressure. They never won a Super Bowl. And what did they do? Did they give in? Did they give in? Did they capitulate? Did they go, oh, we can't do this. No, I can't do this. They supported one another. They encouraged one another. And they believed in their team. Now, we're not a sports team. We're a church. And we're God's people. But the point is that they went on and they did well. And they were strengthened by their support for one another. They didn't give up. They didn't give in. And it's the same way with us as believers. When we have faith, we trust in what God says. And we trust in His promises and who He is. And we don't give in. And we support and we love one another. It makes a big difference, doesn't it, folks? We need each other. We do, folks. We do.